Are we live? We are live. Episode 1, Cloudy and Rowdy, cocksuckers. I'm doing it fucking on a Saturday, on a Savage Saturday, live at Martys on the main stage. People are walking in, they're looking weird, you know. They're like, what are you doing? Kyle goes, are you auto-tuning? I'm also smoking a blunt, so you might hear little pauses in my talk. And then that's called a hitting reefer, you know. So, my name's Tommy Easter. This is the Cloudy and Rowdy Podcast. Some of y'all know me, some of y'all don't. You know, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I started comedy out in Las Vegas. And now I'm out in Los Angeles, living in a van, you know, doing the whole thing, chasing the dream and all that shit. So, it's been fun. It's been irritating. It's been all that, you know? It's L.A. It's not a fucking, it's not an easy place to live, you know? Like Bill Burr said, especially not an easy place to live when you have freckles and the sun never goes away out here. It's a constant fuck in the face. I don't know what to tell you motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's see. Now I feel Bill's pain when I would listen to the Monday morning podcast and he'd be like, I don't know, it's just me. I feel like a fucking idiot talking into this microphone by myself. I can imagine. At least I got Jim Beam here to my side to look at, you know what I'm saying, and not feel so stupid, you know. Let's see, I don't know. Everybody wants to know why you start comedy and shit like that and what got you into it. I tell everybody I wasn't a fan. You know, I didn't grow up idolizing comics and watching comics and it being my whole life. I was my first favorite person in the world as far as like athletes and shit was probably Dominique Wilkins, you know. I've always loved basketball, still play to this day. And it was people like Dominique and Michael Jordan and, you know, those type of people in my life, you know what I'm saying? Lex Luger, Ric Flair. I mean, I liked Eddie Murphy when I was a kid because of the movie Golden Child. I had no idea he was a stand-up comedian, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know the fucking path he had to take. You know, when I first started comedy, check this out. I thought I was going to come to Hollywood. I have to put on a little suit and have a suitcase and shit and walk up in there. And I thought I was going to walk into a room with like HBO and Showtime and Netflix and all these channels, right? And they were going to be like, all right, kid, make us laugh. And then I was going to fucking, you know, ying, 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 do some little fucking bullshit jokes and talk some shit and just make them laugh. And then they were going to bid on who was going to give me an hour special. That's how I thought, you know, that's how I thought comedians. I had no idea the road that we have to take to get to that point, you know, if that point even happens. You never get brought into a room with different stations, you know. HBO and Showtime both in there with Netflix bidding over you like a fucking first round draft pick. That's never going to happen, you know. But that's exactly what I envisioned it like. And so I had no idea Eddie Murphy, you know, was on the, you know, was a open micer, then a feature, then a headliner, then, you know, this and that. I had no idea the steps we all take, man. I just thought he was the funniest motherfucker I've ever seen in a movie, you know. And then, but I mean, don't get it twisted. I've always liked funny shit. Comedy has always been my favorite genre of movie, I could say, you know. I've always gravitated towards those movies. I guess because of the TV I grew up watching, you know, Married with Children, Martin, and Living Color. You know, that's my era. I'm 36 years old. And, you know, I grew up late 80s, 90s was really the years that affected my life to the most, you know, so. And I know there was a bunch of great comedy back then, but I just didn't give a fuck about it. I was a kid, man. I wanted to go outside and play. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to fucking go somewhere and get on stage. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I just wanted to play basketball, smoke some weed, listen to some rap, fuck some bitches, and that was life. Hello? But, you know, after, I don't know, 10, 12 years of laying tile, in and out of prison, you know, just the same bullshit life in Georgia. I said, fuck this, you know. I was out in Vegas, and it was starting to turn into the same Georgia life, but in Vegas. You know, I was laying tile with the same loser motherfuckers. we wasn't doing shit, you know? With that same little piece of shit, Murray, that still to this day is using people and fucking people over, just not getting what I was supposed to be getting in life. So one day, I don't know who turned me on to podcasts. I can't remember. Maybe I found them myself. But I found this podcast named Doug Loves Movies. And that shit was cool. I used to love Doug Loves Movies. Them first episodes were great, you know. And and I was like, holy shit, this dude, he be smoking weed and fucking. I still had that, like, weed still had that allure to me, you know. I was like, oh, this dude's awesome, man. He smokes weed on camera. He don't give a fuck, you know, because it wasn't even legal back then yet, you know. It wasn't even legal in Denver yet. So he was still like a real cool motherfucker to see. And then so he creates this new thing where he's gonna smoke weed on the internet, and he calls it Getting Doug with High. Y'all probably all know. If you don't know, that's you know, Doug says shit backwards sometimes. So he meant to call it Getting High with Doug, but he said called it Getting Doug with High. Everybody liked it, told him to keep it, he kept it. Anyway, first couple episodes wasn't shit, you know. He was like fake smoking. It was bothering me and my roommate, and so we used to roll a blunt and then watch the episodes. And one day, my buddy Daniel, my roommate at the time, he comes downstairs and he goes, "Hey man, I got this blunt rolled. We watching Getting Doug?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. The last one sucked." And he was like, "I know, man, but fuck it, I got the blunt rolled." And I was like, "Who's on there?" He goes, "Some dude named Coco." And I was like, "I've never heard of this motherfucker." You know what I'm saying? Then I walked over to the screen and I seen Uncle Joey, and I did what I did earlier in life. I was like, "Oh, I know that dude. That's the dude from The Sopranos." You know? And fucking Daniel was like, "No, it's not. And he looks like him, but that's not him." And so I looked again, and I was like, "You're right. This happened to me already before." Back when, like, Spider-Man 2 came out. Me and my boys watched it, and I was like, "That's the dude from The Sopranos." And they were like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "You crazy as fuck, man." And I would show people, and this is before Google and Google Image and all this bullshit could prove you wrong, right? So I had the most aggressiveness and loudness, so I was like, "You crazy motherfucker, check this out. Look, man, you tell me this ain't the dude from Sopranos." People be like, because I'm so aggressive, they be like, "Yeah, looks like him." I'd be like, "See, man, you dumb motherfucker." So for years, I won that argument, you know what I'm saying? that was dude from The Sopranos. Then we found out later on through somebody else that it really wasn't the dude from The Sopranos. It was some dude named Joey Diaz. And I was like, oh, fuck, you know? So then when it almost happened again with Daniel that day, I was like, I've been here before. Let me double check, you know, and make sure this isn't that dude again. And fucking A, it was Joey again. And anyway, Joey brought his own weed, packed his own bong, took a fucking real rip, was a monster. And I was like, oh, man, I love this fucking dude right here. I got to check into him. So I checked into him. He has his own podcast that we all know and we all love called The Church of What's Happening Now, you know. And I start listening. Then I hear him dropping prison stories and shit. And now that unrealistic image I had of like showing up in a suit and being in front of Showtime, all that shit's out the door. Now I know what it's really like. Uncle Joey's breaking it down, you know, level by level on his podcast every day. And I'm just like, fuck. You know, he makes it sound so great. And it is great. I love fucking comedy, and I'm glad I switched to it. And what I was getting at was he is the reason I started doing comedy. I was like, fuck this tile shit. Murray's constantly fucking me over, not paying me what I need. You know what I'm saying? I was living in a house that was illegal. I paid a bitch $1,000 for the keys to a house in Las Vegas that had like 5 bedrooms, fucking 3-car garage, a hot tub that waterfalled into a swimming pool, all this shit. We couldn't even afford to fucking have the water in the swimming pool. We put a blue tarp in the bottom of that bitch and was like, look at that, looks like water. You know what I'm saying? We don't give a fuck, Jack. So all that shit was coming to an end. I had to make a move. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm going to go try this comedy shit, you know? And that's what I did. And I had a damn good time on stage the first time. Them guys told me they liked me. I should come back. And I kept coming back, and I kept emailing Uncle Joey and just letting him know my progression in comedy and shit like that. And I went and bought tickets to his shows in Vegas, and then I would go and watch them. And then if you've been to one of his shows, excuse me, I'm drinking coffee, smoking a blunt. You know, I'm just trying to be me on the podcast for y'all bad motherfuckers. You hear what I'm telling you? So, so y'all already know if you've been to one of his shows. He stays after the shows and takes pictures and talks to people. So when I was in line for the picture and I was getting close, Lee goes, "What's up, man? I'm Lee Syed." I said, "What's up, dog? I'm Tommy Easter." And when Uncle Joey heard that shit, he goes, "Tommy Easter! Come here, cocksucker!" And he pulled me behind the desk and gave me a big hug, took a picture with me, and talked to me all night, you know, and it was fucking cool. So the next time he came back to Vegas, I fucking was like, all right, I'm definitely going again. This time I'm going to take him some reefer, you know, because he was there for 3 days. So I went in the middle. I went the second day he was in town because I knew he probably needed another bud at the time. So when I stayed late that night and I come up and I was like, "What's up, Uncle Joey?" And I go in with the handshake and I put the young gram of reefer in his hand. His eyes lit up and he was like, "Thank you, Tommy." He put it in his pocket, you know, and fucking that's when he was like, that's when he told me. He said, if you ever come to L.A., hit me up, cocksucker. I'll return the favor. And I was like, all right, cool. And I didn't think nothing of it. I'm not one of them dudes that's like, oh, definitely, I'm coming. You know, Joey Diaz told me to come. I was just like, cool, you know. And then a couple months later at a mic, this kid that everybody knows in town, they love him. His name's Feng Chow or Chow Feng. Feng Chow? Yeah, Feng Chow. And he was at a mic in Vegas, and he seen me go up. And when I got off stage, he was like, "You need to come to L.A. You're very fucking funny, man." He was like, we don't have a redneck like you in Los Angeles, you know. He was fucking he was pretty drunk that night, and he was cool shit. And it was just a mixture of that, because I was already thinking it because of what Joey had said, and I was like, fuck it, man. So I came out here, and I emailed Uncle Joey, and fucking out of nowhere, he's like, "Meet me at the Comedy Store," you know. And so he meets me. Well, first of all, what I did was I took all my shit from Vegas and went back home to Georgia, all right, because I had a little Honda CRX. I had a whole bedroom full of shit. I had a whole house full of shit, really. I had to rent a U-Haul, pack it, put my car on a trailer, take the motherfucker to Georgia. I sold my car and anything else, and I fucking bought this van that I live in now. We call it the Van of Life. Some of y'all see it, some of y'all don't. It's on 420 Paris smoking, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 420. We bang, bang, bang like a motherfucker and get Cloudy and Rowdy in there. And so I went and bought the Van of Life. And I Googled, ironically enough, the Comedy Store and drove to California in that motherfucker. I parked down the road from the Comedy Store. I was here so early there was nobody there. So I rolled a little blunt, walked up to the back steps that lead up to the belly room, sat down on them black steps and smoked a blunt and imagined, you know, me running the show and motherfuckers loving me, and, you know, and then that's when I hit up Joey, because that first night it wasn't as accepting as they make it sound on the podcast, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, they don't greet you with open arms at that motherfucker. Let's just put it that way. I'm here to keep it real, and it ain't just because I'm banned from the motherfucking place. I didn't feel exactly so welcomed there. You know, it's like, oh, you're a new comic? Okay, you can come in here and you can stand right here and type shit. You know, like, you ain't gonna go back in the back where Rogan and all them guys are. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? So then I email Uncle Joey, and he's like, well, I got a spot on Tuesday. Meet me there on Tuesday. So I meet him there. He fucking walks me right in, introduces me to some people. This Eric guy, and he goes, this is Tommy Easter. He's family. He needs to take a shower. He fucking took me in the back, showed me, Richard Pryor's dressing room and all that shit. I fucking took a shower back there, got ready. You know, it was a great time in my life, you know, and then after that, not too long after that, fucking, I'm watching Lee on Periscope, I think, and I commented something to him, and he was like, "Oh, Tommy Easter, I've been meaning to get in touch with you, man. I want to do your Periscope." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And so boom, and so that was like the first little real interaction in L.A. You know, like, Lee comes, he does my Periscope, and then right after that, Joey hits me up the next day, you know, and he's like, "This is my number. Save it in your phone, cocksucker." And that's a dream come true to a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, Only reason I started comedy was because of this dude. Now he's texting me, telling me, you know, here's my number. Keep it in your phone and shit, you know? And so I'm just like playing it cool and shit. I go to the Comedy Store on the Tuesdays and Saturdays when Joey has a spot. I go in there, I watch. I was taking notes. I was really taking, you know, I was really blessed because my buddy Diaz Mackey, who deserves a huge shout out because he's the only reason I'm still in LA. When I first moved into town, it was fucking hard, man. I didn't know to go to the gym and get a membership. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a place to shower, you know. And Diaz Mackey would let me come into his apartment. He was living with some chick. He would fucking let me come in there, take showers, park in their driveway because his parking is crazy out here. You know, until you learn how to read these signs, you don't know what you can do. You don't know where you can go. You know, it's the fucking, it's you know, you're far away from your home, you're an alien. You know, that's what they say. So I was an alien in them streets, man, until Diaz Mackey hooked me up. He fucking, he went back to, he was going to Vegas for a week. I'll never forget this. He came out that morning, handed me the keys to that bitch's pad, and was like, yo, Easter, when she go to work, just sneak in there and take a shower, fam. Just make sure you lock the door on the way out type shit. You know what I'm saying? And that lasted for about 2 weeks. Then I figured out the Planet Fitness hustle. You know, then they acted brand new on me. And then I got this LA Fitness shit, you know. But until that, man, it was rough. You know, that's why when Joey seen me that night, he was like, yeah, this kid needs a shower. You know what I'm saying? Like, he hooked me up and fucking, and so then the next thing you know, like, he hits me up and he tells me he's got some shows for me, you know? And, we do, he said he had Brea Improv in Bakersfield. All right. And then he hits me up and he's like, meet me at the store on Tuesday. I go. And it was apparently because the dude from Bakersfield had seen some old video of mine and said that he didn't want to book me on the show. So the only reason I was at the store that night was to fucking, was because Joey was going to tell me, yo, you only get Brea. I can't take you to Bakersfield. Before that could happen, the whole Caparulo incident happened. We'll say that shit for another podcast. You know what I'm saying? But long story short is, comedy has been a blessing for me. I know y'all hear that from a lot of people, you know, and it seems cliche and all that dumb shit, but I mean, you know, they arrested me in Georgia and sent me to prison for selling marijuana. You know, you buy weed out here, you get a receipt. You know what I'm saying? It's just I had to do something, man, and being a felon, it's hard to just say, okay, well, I'm going to go and work at a bank now, or I'm going to go work at the Home Depot now, or anything, you know? It's hard to do anything, you know? You can name it from the top to the bottom. They look at you sideways, you know? So, Uncle Joey did a lot for me, and what's happened between us, because I know some of y'all can sense it on my Perismoke. I don't say church family shit no more. None of that. I'm not gonna get into it. I had planned on it. I had planned on saying a lot about him, you know? Fact is this, all right? He did do a lot for me, but at the same, and then, you know, he turned his back on me. But that's between me and him. That's a personal thing between me and him. I know that y'all love that podcast, and y'all love Uncle Joey, and you should. And I know that he does help y'all in a lot of ways with his stories. He was addicted to drugs like I've never been. You know, he can share stories with y'all and truths with y'all that help y'all with your own demons and truths that I will never be able to. So for me to get on here and bash him and try to change your mind about him, that would be wrong, because he did have my back at first, you know. All right, the fact that he turned his back on me, that's a personal thing between me and him. You know what I'm saying? That I've already decided I'm not going to put that on y'all to, like, choose sides or nothing, man. Y'all can fuck with me and fuck with Uncle Joey as much as you want. Hello? But that's the reason I don't be, you know, yelling out church family no more and all that shit, you know what I'm talking about. I know y'all have seen it on the Periscope and fucking, I don't say it on the Periscope either. I don't talk bad about the man on air and in public, because what happened between us was personal, you know? And this is a profession. So to keep it professional, Uncle Joey did a lot for me, and I'm very grateful that I had him in my life. You know, it was definitely a dream come true for a comic like me, because like I said, he was the reason I started comedy in the first fucking place. Then I was opening for him. I was riding in a car with him. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, man. It was really a dream. You know, it was really a weird thing. Riding in a car with Joey Diaz, watching him cuss people in traffic. It's fucking awesome, you know? Smoking reefer. What's up, girl? The very beautiful Akila giving me a hug right now. Martys is a magical place, man. That's why I want to do my podcast here. I feel more at home here than anywhere in LA, except when I'm on the basketball court busting people's ass. You know what I'm saying? My true home is that LA Fitness basketball court. But Martys, man, people talk shit about this place, but they wrong. You know, listen. I started the hashtag Martys family. All right. And I did it for a reason, because it didn't take me a long to figure out, oh, the same group of motherfuckers pretty much come here, you know, and we a core group, you know, and we got each other's back to the end, you know. We talk shit about each other. We do it to each other's face, though. That's why it's a family. We wait for you to come on the smoke pad, and you get your ass lit the fuck up as soon as you come on that smoke pad. You better not come on that smoke pad busted one day. You know what I'm talking about? Like, motherfuckers, even if it was your worst day, you're going to be like, all right, well, I can't go to Martys until I clean this shit off of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't come out on that smoke pad looking crazy. But it's all love. You can't get on stage with that whack shit either, because we're going to give it to you. We either going to give you a whole lot of nothing, or we going to tell you, hey, man, that's street shit. You can't do that. That's low-hanging fruit. That's whack. Like, this is the room where people yell that shit out. And that's where these snowflakes around town, they talk shit. Martys is some bullshit. Don't nobody lie. These motherfuckers. You a snowflake. You know what I'm saying? Marty says it the best. If you came to Marty's for laughs or some shit like that, you need mental support or some bullshit. He say some little one-liner like that. It's the best. He says it the best. You're only funny till your $5 ain't. You're only funny till your $5 runs out. But yeah, no other place in LA, man. You can give these people $5, right? Go outside, smoke blunts, drink liquor, talk shit, come inside, do a set on the main stage, go in the back room, do as much time as you want. You know, right now on Savage Saturdays, you know, Marty lets me run the place. That's why we call it Savage Saturdays. We smoking reefer on the main stage, doing a podcast. There's people outside on the smoke pad bumping music, rolling blunts. And that's the way that's the way life should be, man, when you live in LA. Hello? These people pay a lot of money to live out here. And these bums just torture these motherfuckers. They torture the shit out these motherfuckers, boy. How long have we been going?
23 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah.
This is the hardest thing in the world to do. Bill Burr is completely right. I've heard him bitch for months, and like at least a year I've been listening to the Monday morning podcast and Thursday thing, and he's always like, this is the hardest fucking thing. How long have I gone? You know, like he checks it too, doesn't he? I feel like I told my whole goddamn life story. And it's been 23 minutes. That's it. That's all the fuck. They hadn't even gotten a bang, bang, bang yet. God damn it. Go through my childhood. I was poor. I grew up in Liberty Heights in Gwinnett County, Georgia, in Norcross, Georgia, off of Jimmy Carter, and back when it was pronounced Jimmy Carter, not Yimmy Carter. All right? And Right there off Buford Highway on Hillside Drive, boy. That's where them Uncle Worm stories come from. Hello? I lived right beside my grandmother, and then down the street was Uncle Worm, which was her son. So she had her daughter living right next to her, and her son living right down the street, you know? It was like, so my Uncle Keith, who's the middle child, I think my mom's the oldest, Uncle Keith, then Uncle Worm is the youngest. So Uncle Worm had his own place, his own trailer down the street. Uncle Keith stayed with my nanny up living beside my mom. So almost the whole fucking family was always around, you know, my whole childhood. These motherfuckers, this is how Uncle Worm was babysitting me one time. He put me in the goddamn dryer, and when he closed the door, it turned on. It was one of those type of dryers, and then that freaked him out. So what'd he do? He didn't open the door and get me out. He ran and got Uncle Keith. Keith, I put Thomas in the dryer. Keith was like, what, motherfucker? Why didn't you get him out? He fucking ran over there, and my Uncle Keith had to get me out. So that might be a little bit of an explanation for some of y'all if you're wondering what the fuck is wrong with this guy you're listening to. Hello? And I know I've been all over the place on this first podcast. We might not even post this shit. Hello? We might cut it up, chop it down, DJ screw it. I don't know. I think it's had a good flow in a lot of ways. I mean, you know. You got to start somewhere, man. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, you know, patching people in on why I'm a maniac. You know what I'm saying? That I know this. I want to say this. Georgia gets a bad rap. The South, basically, but especially Georgia. And it's like you fucking forget that Atlanta is our capital. You stupid motherfuckers. Listen, I show people this picture all the time. It's from 1989, and it's my 5th grade elementary class school picture, and or it might be from 1990, and there's just as many black kids, Mexican kids, and this one Asian girl I was in love with my whole life, Michelle Vu. There's just as many as white kids in that picture. My whole life I've had, you know, blacks, Mexicans, Asians, all a part of my life. Georgia has a huge mixture of everything. There's so many Mexicans in Georgia. Check this out. There's a place called Gainesville, Georgia, right? So when I went to jail in Hall County, the blacks and the whites, we have to share a TV. The Mexicans, they get their own TV, all right? Now, you can try and change that El Soccer game if you want to, migo, but you're going to get your motherfucking pinata busted. You hear what I'm telling you? It's not a good fucking move. So we fight over fucking, like, the young black kids that want to watch BET, the rednecks want to watch Jerry Springer, you know, then on Sunday they'd want to watch NASCAR, we want to watch football. The Mexicans ain't arguing at all. Them motherfuckers get to watch football, soccer, you know what I'm saying? You can't fuck with them. They outnumber us, you know, but we didn't give a fuck. I mean, it's like they think it's some kind of fucking racist fucking haven and shit. Now, I know there are racist motherfuckers in the South, and there's a lot of spots, you know, where it is, but you act like the shit ain't the same in your state. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go up, you can go 5 hours north of L.A. and hear the N-word just as much as you can hear it in somewhere in Georgia. Hello? So that's another thing that gets a bad rap. It's like you forget that we're the home of Outkast and Goody Mob. You can go back further than that. Da Brat, fucking Chris Cross, I'm pretty sure was from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like TLC, huh? Them girls, you know what I'm saying? They had that song Fila, Forever I Love Atlanta. Come on, man. Atlanta's always had flavor, and I'm sick of taking up for it. It gets on my nerves. You know, it's like, I don't have to as much with black people. That's the thing that's the thing that gets on me, is like black people pick up on me immediately. You know, they immediately know. Oh, motherfucker, you know, you got some swag to you. You got some flavor to you. You know, they start asking me questions and shit, where I'm from and shit, who I came up with. These little white snowflakes out here, they just got it in their brain that I'm some racist redneck. It's hilarious, you know. And it's like, okay, I just let people think what they think now, because I'm 36 years old. I'm through defending myself. Hello? I'm through with it, you know? I don't give a fuck. But I will defend Georgia, because it's not a bunch of fucking bomb dropping fucking racist rednecks like they think it is. It's a lot of fucking. It's actually a fun ass place if you have a car. You know what I'm saying? Because Georgia's big. You gotta be able to drive around that motherfucker. Hello. So I don't know what else, man. Fucking yeah, being poor was the reason I sold dope. Being poor was the reason I sold weed. I know my mom hates it when I say that we were poor, because big respect to my mom and dad. They've worked their whole life, and they worked hard to where we wasn't dirt poor, right? We wasn't fucking completely poor. They had enough money to keep me in a nice place with the bills paid and shit type shit. We didn't have money like, yo, new shoes just came out and I had them type shit. There was like months in high school where I wore the same shit. I had like a week worth of clothes that I would switch around for fucking months. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, right? That's my version of poor. You know what I'm saying? But it's weird because the high school I went to, it's like the place I grew up in, Norcross, was way more city than this country ass place I ended up moving to called Hall County. But they had way more money in Hall County because these people had farmland. And what I didn't know was they the ones that sell fucking produce to Kroger and Walmart and Publix and all these grocery stores and shit. So they got farm money. These motherfucking kids up there, they were wearing Tommy Hilfiger and Polo. They had new clothes for every day of the fucking year. They drove Beamers, so it was hard to fit in, which is no excuse, but it felt good not having to ask my mom for money once I figured out I could sell weed and get profit off of it. It felt good not having to ask my mom to buy my shoes. You know what I'm saying? It just felt so good that, and money's addictive. So, next thing I knew, I had moved my bed beside my window, and the window was beside the porch. And it was like a fucking drive-through window, people. I would bag up like fucking, 50 to 100 quarters. I'd bag up like 25 half ounces. I'd keep like 2 or 3 ounces clocked because I knew a couple older people who would buy an ounce, at a time. And man, I would sit there and we would play Nintendo 64. I had all the Rumble packs. I had all this shit that me and my buddy Nate had stole working at Kmart. This was the deal. Kmart has a layaway, right? When we would work layaway, we would go up there and we would take shit out of people's bag. You know what I'm saying? Like one item per bag, because if there's just one item missing and they come to pick their layaway up, they'll be like, oh, this isn't in there. And they'll go, oh, no problem, man. We'll go out on the store and see if it's out on the shelf and we'll just put it in there for you. And they just replace it right there and no questions asked usually. They think that, oh, the person who did layaway that night must have forgot to put this item in there. It's some dumb shit, right? So I had Rumble packs, I had James Bond, I had everything. So we'd sit right there all night and we'd play these fucking games and people would just knock on my window. I'd be like, what up? And they'd be like, let me get a quarter, dog. Let me get this, let me get that. Because I was the first to sell quarters for 20. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Think about it. That's 80 an ounce, right? 2 ounces, that's 160. 4 ounces, that's 420. And then, all right, so that's only a QP, right? Then that's 840 a half, right? And then that's like 17. Listen, the point was I was getting 3 pounds for $1,500. Hello, I could sell it for 20 a quarter. So I was knocking motherfuckers' heads off. Dude, it was all night. Let me get a quarter, dog. Let me get a quarter. Let me get a half. Let me get this. Let me get that. Bang, bang, bang. We were playing Nintendo. I'm clocking money. Fucking next thing you know, I get ratted on, I get busted. My buddy Josh was there when I got busted. That shit was hilarious. This motherfucker had a vial of hash oil, right? And we were just about to... This is how good of a day they ruined, all right? We had just bought some of the best weed in Georgia, okay? My dad split it with me. We bought a quarter and we split it, all right? So I had a half a quarter. He had a half a quarter. Josh had some hash oil. That's why he was over there, all right? He was putting some hash oil on a piece of paper. I get this knock on the door. I go and it was one of them rare times when me, Josh, my dad, we're all in the living room hanging out, so I just went to answer the door. I didn't look through the window, nothing. Like a dumbass. I answered the door. It's fucking beard face, I just, you could just tell. And he was like, Thomas Easter? And instead of saying no, I was like, yeah, what's up? And he was like, so-and-so fucking from Hall County Narcotics Agency. we need to come in and talk to you. And I was saying no and trying to close the door, but he already had his boot in the door and was coming in. They just came right in. They came in. They fucking they made Josh stand up, and they searched him. They took pictures of him, took pictures of his license. My dad had already hauled ass into the bathroom, though, with his sack of reefer. He hauled ass in the bathroom with our good weed. That was the thing I remember. Josh threw the vial of hash oil behind the TV or some shit like that. And so, but they only had a warrant for my room. So they go into my room, they fucking search it. They find all my weed. They find my scales. They find my bags. They even took the fucking posters on my fucking walls down. I had posters out of High Times magazines and shit like that. I had this Philly Blunts poster. It was velvet. It glowed in the dark. Some of y'all might have had it yourselves. You know, it was all black, and it was just the Philly Blunt logo and shit. They took that shit down. It was like they took all my water bongs. Them motherfuckers took anything and everything they could, and charged me with sale of marijuana, intent to distribute, fucking all this bullshit, you know. And gave me 7 fucking years off that first charge, 7 do 1. And then, you know, I ended up going to Florida as a teenager, you know, because as soon as I got out, I was like, oh, well, I got to get out. I got to re-up. I got to get back on my feet. You should have heard that phone call. I get out after the whole town knows I got busted. I called my dope man from what we call Blacktown. It's really just the hood in Buford, you know what I'm saying? And I called my boy Ant Banks, and I'm like, hey, man, I need to re-up. He was like, this T? I was like, yeah. He was like, hey, man, I don't think I should be talking to you right now. Like, he was so fucking nervous. I was like, nah, it's good, man. I need to re-up. He was like, nah, T, you need to wait a couple weeks, dog. I was like, come on, man. He was like, at least a couple days, motherfucker. Like, he made me wait about 3 days where he would serve me again. That was fucked up. But, you know, he was right because, I mean, I didn't get busted again in Georgia, but we fucked around and we took like a half a pound to Florida one year for spring break. And this dumbass that we was with sold to an undercover. They came, you know, and they busted us all down there too. So then I had 3 more felony weed charges. And so that bumped it up. And then so in all, I did about 10 years in and out of prison. Fucking A, you know, between Georgia and Florida. And I was showing the guys on the smoke pad last night a picture on my phone of my prison ID that says 2009. And like I told them, because then I got out in 2010, and that was the very first year of my life since 2000 that I had no probation, no anything. Like, once I got out from that, there was no more paper. You know what I'm saying, is what we call it. No more paper, son. First time. 2011 was my first, like, full year of freedom, basically, as an adult. You know, they took my straight-up 20s in a lot of ways, man, because I was constantly, all the good times I had in my 20s, what people didn't know was that I was wanted by the police the whole time. If I was ever at your party in my 20s, dog, smoking blunts, doing anything like that, it was because I didn't report to probation that month. Hello? It's probably because I had like a year or 2 probation warrant on me at that time. If you seen me in my 20s, man, and we were having a good time, or we were in another state, or anything like that, dog, it was because I had already bucked on probation. So, you know, yeah, I was, you know, there was times I was a dick to people. Motherfucker, you didn't know what I was going through. That's why my man Greg Johnson is still my man to this day, because he knew the whole time. He'd look at me sometimes and be like, man, I don't even see how you smile this much. And I'm like, what? He goes, dog, you go through a lot. You know, I raised a kid that wasn't mine for 2 years. You know, I had to find out the $850 hard way through DNA that he wasn't my son after I raised him for 2 years. That's 2 birthdays. That's 2 Christmases. That's 2 Halloweens of fucking putting him in little costumes and walking him around. You know what I'm saying? And then gone, right? So, but I stayed smiling, bro. I stayed joking. You know what I'm saying? And Greg would be like, dog, I don't see how you even smile, bro. You know what I'm saying? But these motherfuckers don't know. You can't let people know, man. You know, it sucks. It sucks to deal with shit. But in a way, I feel like we were made to deal with shit on our own. I feel like therapy, all that shit's a scam, man, because even like Uncle Joey said, he quit cocaine without a fucking hug or anything. Hello? You know what I'm saying? That shit that happened to me, I got right the fuck over it, man. I didn't take therapy. I didn't go to counseling. You know what I'm saying? None of that. Hello? When you go to prison, They don't give you fucking therapy, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't you gotta that shit was what taught me. That was the first time I ever heard God won't put you through nothing you can't handle, young man. Humans can adapt to anything. I'd never heard no shit like that till I went to prison. I never even had to think like that until I went. You see what I'm saying? So then when that shit happened to me, it was like, all right, I can get right past this. Hello? So if you out there fucking up, you struggling for something, you know what I'm saying? And you feel like you can't get past it because you don't have no one to help you, man, that's bullshit, man. You're going to have to do it. You can do it on your own. You don't have to do it on your own. You can do it on your own. And you will do it on your own. A lot of people, listen, you're not going to quit what you're doing until you want to. Trust me, bro. I smoked cigarettes when I was a teenager, right? Used to smoke, started out with Marlboro Lights like a true white boy, you know, and then I switched to Newports like a true black kid, you know, and fucking one day I was tripping on acid with my buddy Lil Shane. Y'all hear me shout him out on the Perismoke all the time. Hello. And we were walking through the trailer park, and I fired up a Newport. And we had just went to buy this pack of Newports. And I said, man, this thing tastes like shit. He goes, well, I said, here, hit this thing and see what it tastes like. He hit it. He goes, ain't nothing wrong with it. So I hit it again. I said, man, this thing ain't getting me high. It ain't getting me drunk. This fucking thing is only killing me, bro. I said, here, you can have this pack of cigarettes. And I gave Lil Shane that pack of cigarettes because I was through with them. In my mind, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, all right, I'll give them back to you when you ask. I was like, all right, yeah. We laughed about it, right? 2 weeks later, I'm at Nate's, and Lil Shane goes, hey, T, motherfucker, you ain't had a cigarette since that day you gave me that pack of cigarettes, bro. I was like, yeah, I quit. That was it. That was fucking it, people. I'm telling you, I know it sounds, that shit might sound cliche. You might be saying, yeah, whatever, motherfucker. Yeah, it's easy for you to say. I'm trying to tell you, man, you can do it. You have the power, bro. You're a human. The human brain is the strongest thing in the world. I really believe that. I really believe that a lot of people that are dying from shit and didn't know it, if someone would have never told them, I think they would have lived a lot longer. You know what I'm talking about? It's situations like that. Like, if they wouldn't have told them. They didn't know. Yeah, they knew they was kind of a little sick or whatever. Or they was kind of a little weak, but until you tell them, well, that's because you're dying of cancer. Now in their brain, fuck, I'm dying of cancer. It's like, it's weird how, I don't know how to explain it because I ain't that smart of a person. Hello? But you know what wave I'm trying to surf right now, motherfuckers. And if you on that board, take it all the way. Hello? There's going to be a lot of those fucked up type of, whatever you call them. You know what I'm saying? Comparisons. All right? Easterisms. That's what we'll call them on this shit. All right? Some of them Easterisms. There's Easter facts out there that you motherfuckers don't know about. All right? I'll give you an Easter fact right now. All right? You can't get AIDS past 40. So raw dog it, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that. What's another one? 50% of women 6 feet and taller are men. That's just an Easter fact. You can't deny that one. You know what I'm saying? Big girls are just overfed and underfucked. Everybody knows that's an Easter fact. All right. Hell yeah. What do we got going on right here? 43 minutes. What? I don't know, man. I've done a lot of talking. I can't believe I went 43 minutes, though. This is insane. Hello. I didn't even tap into the greatness of my basketball ability, you know. I'm just thinking, like, I'm thinking ahead, you know, like, there's going to be a lot. I think this is going to be a good podcast. We're going to have some fun. There's going to be a lot of good times on this shit. You know, I got the gift of gab. I know a bunch of fuckers that do, too. You know, Tim McGorry, that fat fuck, when I get him on here, he'll be, oh, well, the thing about Easter, you know, shit like that. Fucking, but all these guys at Martys are great, man. I'll have all these motherfuckers on here eventually, you know. It would be cool to, like, it'd be fucking great if this podcast got all big and I purposely didn't have big people on. You know what I'm talking about? Like if Rogan was like, Easter, man, what's up, bro? I'm good, dog. You're too big of a guest. Imagine telling somebody that, dude, you're too big of a guest. This is for the young dudes. I want them to get some light. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be the shit, bro. I seen this open micer the other night. He ate shit. I want to talk to him about it. You know what I'm saying? Bang, bang, bang. Not like a, and not be a dick like Tony Hinchcliffe. You know what I'm saying? Just like really like talk to him and tell him, hey man, shit I do at Martys anyway. Hello? I mean, I don't like to give advice because this is what I feel about comedy, is that it's a very individual path, So I don't really give advice. I mean, I do in a lot of ways, but it's real simple. Like I'll say, don't listen. You don't have to absolutely listen to everybody just because they've been in the game longer, blah, 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 blah. I tell them, look, man, you listen to people's advice and you take it as far as it'll go. And then when that shit ain't working anymore or it ends, jump back on your road and keep doing what you was doing. Don't change roads. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just, this dude said it's like this, so you're going to take this street now? Fuck that. You know the main highway and how to get there, so stay on your road, because what works for you is what works for you. We're all individual. Comedy is individual. Who would have known that I would have fucking met up with Joey and opened for him already and done a weekend at the Hollywood Improv with him and shit like that, rode around in a car with him and talked to him. No one could have predicted that. There's comics who start comedy because of another comic every single day that are never going to meet that comic. So there wasn't no absolute fucking formula to what I did. I think a certain way and I stay to that shit. I don't let people derail me on what the fuck I'm thinking. Hello? And that's what I tell people, man. Listen, just find out what's working for you and fucking do it. I found out fast in Vegas that my country voice is what separates me. All right? Them guys in Vegas at an open mic, most of them, you go into there and it's a bar and there's casino games on the bar. If you put $20 in there, the fucking bartender, she'll give you drinks all night. So what do? They go right in and they throw the fucking 20 and they drink and their backs to you while they play games. All right? So while they're sitting there with their back to everybody, and everybody that comes up sounds pretty similar because they're all from the West Coast and shit like that, right? They're all like, hi, I'm da-da-da-da-da, and then I get up there and I go, hey, y'all. They're like, whoa. People start turning around and looking at the stage. Who the fuck's up there? You see what I'm saying? So I figured that out, because at first I was like, man, I'm probably going to have to not talk as country on stage, and then I found out quick, nah, fuck that. That's what separates you, People tell me all the time, you shouldn't laugh at your jokes, bro. You know how many times I've gotten off stage and people's been like, dude, you was laughing and having a great time up there. It was infectious, bro. I love watching you on stage. You're just having a good time. You're just laughing and having a good time. Yeah, motherfucker. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. When I'm on stage especially, you paid money to come to this club. You deserve for me to make you fucking laugh, all right? And if it's my stupid laugh that makes you laugh, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But it's coming from I'm fucking really laughing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm really having a good time on stage. And so there's comics that say shit like that. It's like, there's people who say you need to put your best joke first and blah 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 blah. Man, whatever, man. It's what the fuck works for you. There's people who right now think that it's storytelling is the way to comedy and all this shit. You know how many people get up here and tell the worst stories I've ever heard every single night, and I have to listen to that shit, and it's god awful. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, it's obviously not your thing. The reason I tell stories is because I've told them my whole life, and I've gotten compliments my whole life. It's not like I just fell into it. Motherfucker, I was the dude at the party where, like, shit would be quiet and Dan or somebody nudge me and be like, T, fucking start talking, And I'd be like, hey, man, fucking last week we fucking did this and that, bang, 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 and I'd tell them a fucking story, and then the next thing you know, somebody be like, hell yeah, and they'd turn some music on and shit starts going, right? And so That's why I tell stories, goddammit. But I also have a lot of jokes because the fucking, and this is just my opinion, once again. But I do feel that comedy's deep roots are from jokes and that you need some fucking jokes. Hello? That's why they say, if even the storytellers are like, you need punchlines in your stories. That's their way of telling you, don't tell stories if it's not fucking funny. Hello? That's just a nice way of saying that, and it's like, I hate hearing that shit. And so, I don't know, I kind of got off the path, but what I'm saying is comedy, it's individual, all right, and that if you've there's a lot of delusion in it too, all right. So I don't know how to fix that because there's a lot of people that know better. I think. I don't know. 50 minutes. We're at 50 minutes. Fucking putting in work on this young podcast. Hell yeah, man. I think this is going to be fun. We'll have Jim Beam talking pretty soon on some of them, So, because I'm going to need people to ask me questions probably, even if... Yeah, you've already had some... Yeah, I could tell. Like, you've already had questions. See, and if you'd have had a microphone asking them, it would have probably been a lot smoother. Yeah. And that's why this is the first one. This is a pilot. Hello? Pilot to bombardier. Pilot to bombardier. Ground control to Major Tom. YouTube's going to kick us off now. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to meeting everybody that shows me love on Periscope. As y'all all know, Oz Warrior came to Martys, I think it was like last week or a couple weeks ago. It was fucking awesome to see that dude, man. He's such a, he's like just a bright guy. As soon as you see him, he's smiling and shit. He's got his cane and shit. He's got like this Godfather feel to him. He talks slow and he's got the accent with the Aussie accent. So he's real Godfather like. Hey Tommy, I'm gonna be over here at Vito's Pizza. Me and my sisters. You think you could come by and hang out with us today? We're leaving tonight, on the plane. I was like, fuck yeah, I was Warrior, man. I was like, ain't no problem, bro. Your 420 show, though. I said, it's cool, man. Listen, not every day people come from Australia to see a motherfucker. Hello? I was like, they can wait. You know what I'm saying? They'll understand, right? So, hell yeah. I took a bus across town, went to Vito's Pizza with the Aussie. And his first night in the town, he came to Martys, hung out on the smoke pad, and had a blast, man. His first hit of weed, he was like, oh, this is a lot stronger marijuana than we have in Australia, Tommy. But he fucking hung in there like a champ, buddy. He brought me fucking gifts and shit. He brought me a Australian soccer jacket, a fucking Aussie polo shirt, a fucking bunch of DVDs and CDs and shit. He's just... he's a great dude, man, and it was great to see him. And so that's why I said I'm looking forward to seeing all of y'all people. Miss Shelley Berkowitz, Eric Portwood and his lovely wife Summer, Big Thumb Terry, Mystical Pistol. Hell, now we doing shout-outs? Are we doing fucking shout-outs or what, cocksuckers? Bobert, Texas, T-Dog, Texas. I ain't even got the list. These are just the people I fucking know. Hello, BC Fleazy, got a Tracy, Miss Cleo, Ookie Spooky, Token Lair, J. Rama from Another Mama, Bully Extract 710. Holy shit, we doing shout-out list or what, you cocksuckers? Little Shane in the motherfucking house. Greg Johnson, Keith Miller with the young uppercut. Roger One Nut Lopez. Oh shit, Big Thumb Terry. Oh boy Yeti. Shit, I'm having photographic memories of the young list. Rafa Perez, Berger Guamunston, Lisa Light. Who else do we got? 13 Golden Gloves. I ain't got the list. Count Pecula, Dr. D. Smiley. Are you kidding me? These are people who watch my show. It's just I give them love every day and shit. Fucking Gertha Stevens, RJ 562, Dino 5R, man. There's all kind of people, man. Oz Warrior, Pamela T. Grant, motherfucking there's so many. It's crazy, man. They're fucking I sent out like 30 or 40 Christmas cards this year. It was awesome. I can't wait to do that again this year. Hopefully the list doubles and triples. I don't give a fuck how much money I got to spend sending y'all Christmas cards. It was cool. It was a good feeling seeing y'all get them, text me back with the fucking love and shit. So we gonna wrap this shit up, man.
You want to go out on a song?
Jim Beam's got a song hooked up to go out on. Which one? Let's see. Which one? I don't know. To Live and Die in L.A.? The white Tupac? The white Pac got to go out on some Pac? Is that what's going on? Hell yeah. If I didn't shout out your name, just know that I don't even have a list. I was just going off photographic memory. You know, I probably said some of y'all twice today. Hello. But it's nothing but love for all you bad motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Who else? James Alexander. Motherfucking, who else? Who we got? Got me in Austin jail to live and die in L.A. on bail. All right, you bad motherfuckers. I love y'all. Peace out.